Welcome back to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but we want to give a shout out to our two podcast partners, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports and We Coach. These are two great organizations that you should really be a part of. That's We Coach and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. Now let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. We want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com and they're going to show you how to set up and sell your tickets online. They'll show you how to scan the attendees that come to your games and collect your revenue. And every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager that's providing hands-on support. Go to hometownticketing.com. They'll also show you how to sell tickets for things like school dances, your school plays and concerts, even graduation. That's hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to say thank you to Snap Mobile. Go to onsnap.com, that's onsnap.com, and check out their entire suite of applications and programs designed to help you as an athletic director do the very best job you can. Snap Raise is their fundraising platform. Our coaches have used Snap Raise to generate thousands and thousands of dollars, and they have a program where you can actually get your funding before you actually do your fundraiser. Snap Spend is their money management platform. Snap Store allows you to order custom gear for your fans and supporters. Snap Connect is their multilingual family engagement platform, and Snap Manage is their website design program. They'll design an entire website for your school. Go to onsnap.com, that's onsnap.com, and get started with the Snap Mobile company. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors are creating world-class marketing content for their school social media channel. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. Go to Gipper.com, tell them you heard about it on the podcast, and use our podcast code ADPOD10, that's ADPOD10, and get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. Create custom branded content for your school's social media channel. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to Huddle.com. Huddle is how the world sees sports. Over 200,000 teams use Huddle to help their athletes perform at the highest level. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an athletic director, our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just love the smart cameras, the mobile apps. Of course, they love the analytics, but there's so much more. Go to Huddle.com and see how your school can become a Huddle school and join the over 6 million users that swear by Huddle. At Huddle, we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Go to Huddle.com and start your school on the path to becoming a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration. But there's so much more than that. Final Forms can help your stakeholders with things like reminders about policies and physicals and all the forms that come when you have an athlete in the house. Final Forms can also help your coaches with attendance and communication. And for athletic directors, Final Forms can help you with eligibility, with rosters, and all the reports that come across your desk. You know, it's time that you talk to a team that's walked in your shoes. To take the next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack for sponsoring the AD Toolbox segment of our podcast. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire athletic program. At my school, we use surveys for just about everything, for coaches, for teachers, for kids, and for parents. And the information that came back was almost always positive, and it'll be that way for you. But surveys also allow that squeaky wheel parent to vent sometimes. And very often they'll share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue because you didn't know about it because you hadn't done a survey. Go to athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com to get started. If If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Talk to the folks at Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack and let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive's indoor scoring tables and video boards not only generate income for your department, but they also create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo and see their tables and boards in action. You can also email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com to see exactly what their fantastic products can do for you. We've got a Sideline Interactive indoor score table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. Go to sidelineinteractive.com or email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com to find out more information. We also want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. You know, they're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your sports or your school's Hall of Fame, check out vitalsignswalloffame.com and their interactive touchscreen video consoles, along with their library of templates. They're going to help you recognize the athletic achievements of your students, both past and present, and showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com or email them at sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com to get started. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going back to truly an old friend and a friend of the show. She's been on the podcast before, very active at the state and national level. Our Wednesday Wisdom guest today is Rebecca Karr. She's a certified master athletic administrator, and she's the director of athletics at Harlem High School, and that is in Machesney Park, Illinois. Rebecca, welcome back to the podcast and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thanks for having me.
Well, as you and I were talking, it's a busy time of the year for our listeners. We're recording this on November 14th, so it's going to be pretty timely when you're listening. Rebecca, what do you have for our listeners today on Wednesday Wisdom?
So I've recently become more active in our professional development within our state, kind of taking over the professional development chair when Becky Moran took the job at the NIAAA. And so I just wanted to talk about getting involved and using the professional development tools that the states provide and that the NIAAA provides, and just kind of making connections with the people in your state and the people that can help you develop professionally for athletic directors. We've all been through admin academies and courses and, just professional development at the district level that our districts provide for us. And it really has nothing to do with us. It's talking about curriculum and mastery learning and things like that. And that's great, but that doesn't help us. So what are the tools that can help us, those of us that are sitting in this chair? Because the only people who know what we do are people that sit in this chair. So I just kind of wanted to talk about, the courses that are available at the NIAAA, some of the places that you can get them, some of the things that your state association offers, how to get certified. Those are all things that will help you develop professionally. So, for example, all the binders behind me, as you can see, I like binders. I love binders. They're fun. They're a great way to organize yourself. But so I've taken several classes. I've taught several classes, and someday I'd like to be on the national faculty, but that's yet to be determined. So I have all my courses that I've taken. They're in binders behind me, and I reference them. We don't just take the classes just to check off the box and say we've taken the classes, or, I took this to get certified. It's one of my electives. Like, the information that's in these courses is actually, it's usable, and we reference it, and I pull them out probably once a week. If I call somebody and they don't really have the answer that I'm looking for, I say, well, what does the NIAAA say about that? And so I go back to a lot of times those introductory level classes, those 501s, 502s. There's great information in there, and it's not just in there to be in there. It's in there to be referenced. It's, you look back on it, use the tools.
No,
So
you're so right about the information being usable beyond the course. When I was still an AD before I retired, I had those binders in my office. When the NIAAA went to the online manuals and things like that, I had those a click away. And you're it's not something that you're just going to take that course and it's going to sit on a shelf or in a file cabinet and gather dust. There really are highly usable documents.
yeah, I'm apparently not very eco-friendly. I do print out the PowerPoints and do print out the notes that or take notes on those PowerPoints when I take the courses. Um, Sometimes especially the ones that I've taught, obviously have notes all over them. Um, but it's a great tool, and if it's not there not for a reason, right? Like, it's available to everybody. It leads to greater things. Obviously, certification is one thing. I'm the state's certification coordinator for my state. And I've learned so much about just the courses and the NIAAA and my state association. I used to be the person, I mean, I still am. I call people, when I don't know the answers, but now I'm that person that people call me. People email me, they text me. And not that I have the answers, but it's just that I can walk them through where to get those answers. And I can walk them through, hey, this was in, course number 714. Do you have that? Have you taken that? Um, I have a friend who said, well, we're building facilities. I said, well, have you taken the NIAAA course on facility management? So there's 55 courses. They're all being offered in December at the national conference. Like, take one.
Yeah, you've been and you still are, I believe, the certification coordinator for Illinois. I was certification for Florida for years. Um, I'm going to put you on the spot. You mentioned the facilities course. Um, Obviously, on that certification path, we want our ADs to, take the required courses to get that CAA. But then as they look to, broaden their education, um, they have the opportunity to take some elective courses. You've got your CMAA, so obviously you've done that. But what are a couple of courses that really stick out for you, whether you use them for your CMAA or maybe just took them for professional development? Go and give a shout out for a couple of courses that you really enjoyed.
Um, Gosh, this is no joke. I really enjoy all of them. And that's not to, you know, just say that. I always find something out of every course that I can take home and use. And especially going to our state conference or the national conference, I'm like, yes, I want to use this. And then I get home and I have, seven things that I want to use, and how do I implement them? And things get overwhelming. But I really like the organization class. 6:30 something. Yeah, you're really putting me on the spot.
There's only 55 courses, so I don't expect you to know that manual by heart.
Yeah. Um, I also, gosh, let me take a look right behind me. I took 633, the students with disabilities. That was a great course. Just a way to include all of our students. Not all of our students are able-bodied, capable, and what can we provide for those students to make them feel like they're part of our culture and our community. I love that. Um, I think I'm one of just a handful in the state that have taken that, and I really want to push that out at one of our next conferences, just because everybody should be included. We're in a time where we're especially trying to include everyone. And I really, really think that that's an important course that everybody should take. Um, Gosh, what else do I have behind me? The emergency management one is 631.
Mhm.
That's always one too. Having, um, just your plans ready and available. The other day, we had a high windstorm and we were hosting a second round of a football playoff, and I was like, we don't have a policy for winds, and people are above our. Of course, the phone is ringing. Of course, it is.
It's a
Cool.
podcast. It wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't have a phone ringing. No
Right.
worries.
Um, but I all of a sudden had to talk with my superintendent and my assistant superintendent, and like, we don't have a policy for wind, and we have people who are on top of the press box. What are we going to do in order to make sure that we, as a district, are covered? And so I referenced that binder behind me, and we came up with a policy in a half an hour, doing a little bit of research, doing using the NIAAA as a guide. But if I didn't have that, I would probably be relying on something that wasn't necessarily founded in good information that you just get from Google. Um, so, those they're, as I said, they're founded in good information. They're based on research. So the courses are definitely worth it.
Let's go ahead and dig into your history just a little bit here before we wrap up. As I mentioned, you have your CMAA. Um, what were some of the experiences that you took away from, say, the courses that you were taking, as well as the conversations that took place at those tables, which are fantastic? What were some of the things that you um, really used as foundational pieces for your CMAA project? Do any stick out for you?
Um, I don't necessarily think my CMAA project was a little bit different than I think what most people did or have done. It's not that I didn't use anything, but I kind of did my own path, right? Um, so I don't necessarily, I for sure I took 790 as an elective, the teaching course, because I wanted to be involved in more than just taking courses. Um, so I think that one was probably my favorite to take because I knew that I could do so much with the information and so much with that course. It opened a lot of doors for me, and it counted as an elective.
No, absolutely. The 790 course is excellent, and it's one of those courses that we want people to take so they can in turn go back and be instructors at the state level and the national level. Very cool. Rebecca, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, find out a little bit more about how you run your program at Harlem, or has questions about LTIs or certification, what's the best way that they can get in touch with you?
So my email is rebecca.karr@harlem122.org. I'm happy to help anybody with certification, LTI, um, just talk you through the process. We're running a certification cohort in Illinois, helping people get their CAAs and CMAAs. And, you know, people are getting really, really familiar with what's necessary for CAAs and CMAAs because of that. So um, I would be happy to share that information with anybody who would ask.
What a great idea doing a cohort within your state. I know the NIAAA cohorts are very popular. I was fortunate enough to be in one a couple of years ago. Great idea. Certification cohort. Well done. Rebecca Karr, Certified Master Athletic Administrator and the Athletic Director at Harlem High School in Machesney Park, Illinois. Thanks so much for being on Wednesday Wisdom, and we'll look forward to connecting at the national conference.
Sounds good. See you there.
For our listeners, remember the Zoom recordings of all of these interviews get uploaded to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening today. Come back next Wednesday for more Wednesday Wisdom and just about every day on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Before we go, we do want to thank our sponsors one more time. Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration. Go to finalforms.com/Jake for more information. I want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. Start creating world-class content for your school's social media channel. Use the podcast code ADPOD10. Get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. I want to say thanks to Snap Mobile. Go to their main website on Snap, that's onsnap.com, and check out their entire suite of platforms designed to help you do the very best job you can as an athletic director. That's on snap.com. I want to say thanks to Huddle. Go to huddle.com and turn your school into a Huddle school. That's huddle.com. I want to say thank you to Sideline Interactive indoor scoring tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and check out their indoor scoring tables and video boards. I want to say thank you to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Go to athleticsurveys.com and check out their surveys. Will help you run your athletic department at very best level. I want to say thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com. That's hometownticketing.com, and they'll show you how to set up and sell your tickets online. And finally, we want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their touchscreen consoles and video boards. Help you display the very best of your athletic department, school records, Hall of Fame. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. Thanks again for listening to Wednesday Wisdom. We'll see you next time. Everybody have a great day.